Now, function files. Let's take this script file. Let's create a function out of it. So I'm going to create, okay, come on, you silly thing. Why aren't you pasting? There we go. Copy of circle. And let's open it up. I want to make a function out of it. So I'm going to go function, or here's a better way to do things. Let's just make a function file. New file function. Because when you create a new file function, I'll just go untitled. So I'm going to have two things open. When you create a function, what you do is the keyword function, whatever output you want, untitled, well, right now the name of the file is untitled, and then input arguments. Key point on functions. Name of file has to be the same as the name of the function. It won't work if you have two other things. So I'm going to copy that here. I'm going to open copy of circle. Come on, open up. Oh, there it is, right there. Paste it. Like I said, the name of the function has to be the same as the name of the file. So I'm going to call it circle. It says its name already exists. I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to call it circle func. And now I've got to, if I do that, I have to change this name also. Circle func. No outputs. I'm not going to do any outputs. I'm just going to have an input, R. There we go. And now I don't even have to have, I can eliminate this completely. I can comment it out if I want to. There we go. And I can just run the function. Okay, so NC of 5. Circle of radius 5. And it ought to plot away, just like before. And why is it asking me to enter the radius? Because I haven't saved it yet. So I'm going to go Control-C, get out of it. Control-C lets you get out, by the way. If I make a mistake like this, just hit Control-C. I'm back to the command window. See this little star right here? It means I haven't saved it. So I got to go back to it and save it. Now it ought to run as a function just fine. And you guys are familiar with the fact, if I hit my up arrow, it brings back the previous command, and I hit return, and it ought to be blasting away. And just to make sure the figure works, I'm going to close the figure and do it again. It creates my figure for me. So this is a function. Now I'm not entering anything in the keyboard. I'm telling what the radius is right here. I can change the radius now to say 10. And the figure, it'll overwrite the old figure. And the old figure is in the background. By the way, if you try this and you're going, why isn't it working? Take a look at the other windows that are open in Matlab. And indeed, we got a figure where that's radius is 10 instead of 5. Okay, that is functions in a nutshell. Arrays and matrices. So I'm going to hit that. That'll be the last thing today. It looks like, yeah, that's about as much time as I have. You guys have already been working with arrays and matrices, which means, by the way, since we are running out of time, we are a week behind. Like I said, Chapter 2 homework in 2 weeks. So change in date. Chapter 2 in 2 weeks, but I might combine 3 and 4. Oh, come on. We got to catch up. We got to catch up somehow. And 2 is the hardest. So.
Why is 2 the hardest?
Because it kind of goes over everything.
It doesn't tell you what you're doing.
Yeah, kind of. You got to fumble. Sorry, guys, you got to fumble around. You'll find that out about computer programming. Anytime you work with computers, you will fumble around a bit. You look and you'll scratch your head and you'll pull your hair out. That's commonplace.
What am I supposed to do?
So let's settle down. I want to be sure and take the last 5 minutes and talk about vectors. But the chapter 2 homework, 2 weeks. What is 2 weeks from today? Let's see, it's the 8th of October. Okay. So Pretep, chapter 2. We'll do that in 2 weeks. We'll talk some more about it next week. And I will wrap up talking about arrays. And you guys have already seen that a little bit. So the semicolon creates a new row. The comma is go to the next column over. The semicolon is go down one row. So it does, row 1 is 1 and 2, row 2 is 3 and 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. Close it. So there's vector B. A plus B. If they're the same dimensions, you can add them. B minus A will be all positives. And, since I counted by ones, well, 5 minus 1 is 4. 6 minus 2 is 4. Anyway, they're all 4s. Identity. It puts ones down the diagonal. Here's a 3 by 3 matrix. Identity matrix. Zeros. These are functions that create matrices of certain dimensions. I'm going to make it a 3-dimensional matrix of zeros. Ones. You can do ones too. Okay. So different ways to create matrices. Let's go back to A, B. So we've done some adding and subtracting. Multiplying. This is matrix multiplication. The number of columns in A has to equal the number of rows in B, or it won't work. Matrix multiplication. It's kind of like vector multiplication. So you're multiplying the vector 1, 2 times 5, 7. This column of B, A star B, is this column of B is multiplying the first row of A. So element 1, 1, first column of B, first row of A. So 1 times 5 is 5, 2 times 7 is 14, to give an answer of 19. Row 2 of the answer, row 2 of A times B, is row 2 of A, row 2 and column 1 of B, row 2 of A. So it's 3 times 5 is 15, 4 times 7 is 28, add them together, you get 43. That's how matrix multiplication works. Second column of A, first row, is first row of A, second column of B. 6 times 1 is 6, 8 times 2 is 16, which add them together, you get 22. And finally, second row, second column, second row, second column of B, second row of A. 6 times 3 is 18, 8 times 4 is 32, so the answer is 50. So that's how matrix multiplication works. This is element by element. It just takes the first row, first column of the answer will be 1 times 5. So it's 1 times 5. The second gives us 21. 3 times 7. 2 times 6 is 12. That's this little dot here. Dot means do things element by element. And I've got to end here, so I will solving equations with matrices next time and pick up in 2.7.